Hello, insiders. Thanks for joining us today for the Unitrends version 10 Insider Sneak Peek. This is Mark Jordan. I'm Vice President of Technology, and I'm joined today by Rob Walker, one of our product managers. He's going to be the subject matter expert on the presentation today. We're pretty excited about a couple of the items that we have coming in version 10, and it's great to be able to show it to the insiders before the rest of the world gets to see it. Just some housekeeping. I think everyone's probably muted. If you have any questions, there's a Q&A tab on there, and we'll leave plenty of room at the end so that if you have questions, you can ask the questions. Maybe if you you can enter them as we go along, but we won't be ignoring them. We'll answer those when we get to the end of the presentation. Presentation itself, I think, will probably take about 15-20 minutes, maybe a little longer, and then we'll have plenty of time for questions if you have any. But with that being said, let's get going. All right. First thing we want to do is about the key takeaways. What are we going to try to do in this presentation? We kind of want to understand the demand and drivers for version 10, why Unitrends is doing what we're doing. We're going to talk about the features and benefits of version 10, and we're going to be able to develop talk tracks around version 10. Basically, why, what is our message to the community out there in terms of why we've done what we've done. First thing I wanted to look at here, this is, just kind of give you an idea of how Unitrends ended up the year. This is something that was in a press release, and I wanted to put this up just so you guys had kind of an idea of what we've done and where we're going. And I'm going to tell you, it's advocates like our insiders that have helped us do this. But I think the key takeaway of the slide is Q4 of 2017. Our fiscal year ends January 31st. So Q4 2017 was our largest bookings quarter in company history. And you can see we had significant growth, year-over-year growth in our high-end appliance units and in appliance bookings, and 300% year-over-year growth in our cloud services. So thank you for being, for our customers and our partners that are on the call today. Thank you for being great advocates of Unitrends, and thank you for helping us have so much success. I think the number that really we're focused on right now is that 236% year-over-year growth in the high-end appliance units. That is a number that for us it's quite exciting because it means that we're getting to very large environments, and part of what we're doing with version 10 is allowing us to dive deeper into those environments. One thing that I think that really stands out from Unitrends' perspective is we start talking about enterprise and large enterprise opportunities for us, is that Unitrends is adapting faster than any other vendor. And you look at some of the three major Gartner publications, the Backup Magic Quadrant, the DRAS Magic Quadrant, and the ITRO Market Guide. We are the only vendor, the only solution that's recognized in all three of those major Gartner publications. And I know some of you on here just got through doing some Gartner interviews for Unitrends, and we appreciate that work, and many others have gone up and put up reviews for us up on the Gartner Peer Insights board. Tremendous work by our insiders, and we really appreciate what you've done there. Okay, so let's take a look at some of the business problems and what we're doing here, right? First, when we think about small and medium-sized businesses into the enterprise, we call it kind of a basic enterprise, and this is what traditionally what backup vendors have done. They ask, hey, what is being backed up? What is being replicated? What kind of retention are you going to get? And then will it recover? I mean, that's really the basic enterprise questions that we've had to answer for many, many years. What we're trying to do with version 10 is go a little beyond that to kind of a more of an advanced enterprise. How much data will I lose? How long will I be down? This is if something happens. Is my data going to be going to the right places? And can I go back in time just enough For example, if you have a ransomware attack, can you go back to a recovery point just before that ransomware attack to be able to recover? And then the last one here, how do I make backup a better return on investment? How do I control infrastructure costs? How do I keep applications performing? And how do I control access? And these are the things that Unitrends is looking at with version 10, and this is what we want to help you with. So here's some questions. Here's some questions for our customers. Do you have recovery point objectives and recovery time objectives? If you do you test them? Do you have compliance requirements, and do you need to quickly spin up environments for dev tests or DevOps? If the answer to any of these questions is yes, we think version 10 is going to be a tremendous help to you when this release comes out. So let's get into Unitrends Backup version 10, productivity and compliance through automation. The first thing is, I think this is probably, and I know that some of you have asked for this over the last couple of years, manage SLAs from beginning to end, define, analyze, and report. We're excited to say that with version 10, we'll have SLA policy automation. What it's going to do for you is it controls the initiation, the flow of backups and backup copies through a single, simple policy. So previous, you may have to set certain things up in different areas of the appliance. Now you'll be able to create an SLA policy, multiple SLA policies, assign those policies to the assets that fit the requirements that SLA is protecting, and all the other functionality, everything's built into that. The flow of backups, the backup copies, everything is built in. So how does it work? Simply set the recovery point objective, your retention that you need, and location of backups and copies. The Unitrends software automates all the underlying processes. We then analyze regularly if you're meeting your SLAs, and the product automates business level reports for compliance. So it's very simple. And here's some of the things: small, medium enterprise customer benefits, and talks about how it makes it 60% simpler. And in enterprise customers, in just one step, I'm set up and compliant with my business requirements, including external demands from HIPAA and SOX. That's real simplicity and confidence. These are quotes from customers who've looked at it, who've touched it, who've used it, and we're excited. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to let Rob Walker, our one of our product managers, he's going to kind of talk through the SLA policy automation for you right now.
Sure. So what we'll see is you're able to specify an SLA based on the recovery point objective. So simply by saying how often you want to back something up, and that in turn can be the value that's used for how long you're keeping that backup for, right? So how long are you keeping retentions for those backups? So by specifying that one RPO, maybe it's 12 hours, maybe it's 1 hour, right? You're able to then take that backups and move them to cheaper storage for long-term, or replicate them off-site to a secondary location. And if you go to the next slide, Mark, we'll be able to see what the SLA policy interface looks like. There are some of our competitors that offer this SLA policy, but we are the only ones that offer the ability of specifying the time that you want to start to backup on. So you'll see here that you can specify the start date, as well as the time that you want the first full backup to run, and as well as the in-between times that you want those backups to occur. And then under that, you'll see the backup copies. And this is if you're replicating your backups to a hot location, right, that you can then use for spin up of the virtual machines. That'll be the first option there. And then the second checkbox will be for the cold backup copy targets. That's the NAS, SAN, removable hard drives, tape, right, the cheaper storage for long term. And then on the right-hand side, you'll specify the backup retention, so keep the backups locally for 14 days in this case, and then we can warn when that retention period falls under what we specified, and then we'll delete the backups locally as well, all related to this SLA policy.
Okay, thanks, Rob. We're going to bring Rob back in here in a minute, but let me go back. One of the great things about this SLA policy is that you'll be able to create multiple SLA policies. You may have different priorities on different systems. Tier 1 systems, you may have a more aggressive recovery point objective. Maybe you're trying to protect things every 2 hours, every 1 hour, every 4 hours, whatever it is. Be more aggressive. You may keep things for a longer retention period with particular policy. You may send some things off-site. Other things might not be going off-site, but you'll be able to create all the SLA policies you need. You can name them in a way that you understand what they do for you, and then you simply assign the assets that you're protecting to the policy that you want to use, and that's it. You don't have to do anything more in terms of creating schedules. You don't have to do anything more about marking something to be replicated or to be copied off to a cold backup target. Everything is done through this policy. You still have the ability to use the way we have been doing things. You can use the interface you're using now, and you can use the configuration that you're using now. But I think that many of our customers are going to love this SLA policy scheduling.
And that's a great point, Mark, because a lot of times, let's say you have 50 machines or 50 virtual machines in the environment. Usually, 10 to 15 of those are really the business critical applications. So now this really gives you a quick way to deal with all the rest of the machines, right? You simply put the other 30 or 35 machines into this SLA policy, and then you can use our enterprise scheduling, right, for going and getting more granular for the application data.
Thanks, Rob. Absolutely.
So now the recovery assurance, and this is what we feel is a key differentiator with the Unitrends product, right, is being able to have a high sense of assurance that your backups and your application data, everything's going to work as expected. So what we're doing is we're taking what used to be called the Reliable DR product, and we're integrating that into the mainstream Unitrends interface.
So we're going to take a look at this productivity, this automated provisioning of copy data management. And basically, yeah, like Rob said, the old Reliable DR product is something that Unitrends, really we've had it for over 3 years now. But we have it fully integrated in the interface with version 10. Previously, it was all around being able to use that product to orchestrate and schedule DR tests, and then also schedule or to spin up systems quickly in the event of a disaster. Now we have it it can do that still, of course, and that's what we use in our own cloud to make sure that we can hit 1 hour SLAs on recovery with premium DRAS. But now we have the ability to use it for automated provisioning or copy data management. And what it does for you is it's going to provide you enterprise IT and DevOps instant access to production data applications, right? You'll be able to spin this data up in a test environment and to be able to test against it, apply patches, things like that, and make sure that it's going to work properly in your test environment before you roll it out into your production environment, right? And here's kind of all the different things that it does. So basically orchestrates instant recovery of on-demand labs, isolates labs from production, controls lab access to key stakeholders. It supports physical and virtual environments, and then it requires Enterprise Plus licensing on our Unitrends backup software and our Unitrends recovery series appliances. And here's the benefit for the customer. You can basically roll out a lab based on backup recovery points that you have. You can roll out a lab to your end users or to your stakeholders so they can go run tests against the systems that are in that lab.
And this is also the whole point too, right, is to create that certified recovery point where you know that not only the virtual machines and the physical servers started together, but the application dependencies were met across them as well.
Absolutely. Thanks, Rob. Now, Rob's going to talk us through a little bit about, we've got some screenshots of the dashboard and what it's going to look like and how it's going to work.
And this screenshot here is probably our least exciting screenshot, but you'll see on the Protect tab now we've added the data copy access. This is where we can go and set up our what used to be reliable DR jobs to run now with this solution. And now if we go into it, here we'll see some of the screens that we use for setting up the data copy access job. And you'll notice that the lab profile is specified first. Now, the lab profile is where we go and tell it what resources within VMware we want to leverage, which hosts, which data stores, which resource pools, what virtual networks we want to leverage right when we go to spin things up. And then we'll also have the target location, so that will give us kind of a summary of the assets that we're using there for the test. And then we'll see the recovery assurance settings, right, where we're specifying the RPOs and the RTOs here at the bottom. And then on the right-hand side, if we want to run custom scripts, so the scenario here is we spin up the virtual machines, we check the applications, and maybe there's something like a customized application that we want to check. Here's where we can put that script in, right, and do that performance test or resource test on the target machine that we're testing. Here's a little bit more into the lab profile. So here we'll set up multiple profiles, right? And the profiles will really correspond with your test environment, right, or your DR site, what resources you have there to work with. What's nice is that you're able to leverage the same resources, right, by scheduling your jobs to run at different times, right? So you don't need to have the same amount of resources at the secondary site that you have the primary site, but again, you're able to spin things up, do the verification, and prove that everything works the way it needs to. And then here, we'll specify the boot order of the virtual machines. If we need to change the CPU and the memory that's being utilized for that VM, we can specify that here. And then the other tabs, you'll see the location, the re-IP if we need to readdress items that we're spinning up. And then, of course, the test tab has more to do with the scripting that we run on the behind the scenes there. And then now when you receive your recovery compliance report, again, we've gone through, we've specified what the RPOs and the RPOs are, the RPOs and the RTOs, as well as the recovery time actual, right? That's how long it took to make the application available, and this is the compliance report that is generated from that testing.
Absolutely. Thanks, Rob. So for those of you who are familiar with the Reliable DR product, and maybe you're using it today, if you remember the Reliable DR product, how it is before version 10, it was a standalone VM, and you're able to orchestrate and run your tests and do the type of things that Rob just kind of talked about. Now it's going to be integrated into the interface, and we're taking that one step further, where it's not all about disaster recovery, but it's about spinning up systems. And sometimes you're spinning those systems up because you're testing disaster recovery, but you may also be spinning those systems up because you're testing those other things that we talked about, patches. You may be testing, just basic recovery of particular databases or anything like that. So it's it extends the ability to use Reliable DR in your environment to show that you're compliant with whatever SLAs you've set, but also to extend your environment to do that data copy management so that you can actually use your backups to spin up labs to test things in, as opposed to having secondary storage and additional snapshots that you may not want to spend the resources on from a storage perspective. Okay. All right, so here's our full version 10 feature list. SLA policy automation that we just went through, automated provisioning, copy data management. We will have full support for Hyper-V 2016 with our version 10 release. That's been in beta now for a little while, but it'll be fully supported GA with version 10. And then there's some UI enhancements. You'll see additional color-coded information. The compliance report will be built into the dashboard. You'll see that, and we want to try to just provide a better visual representation of what's going on in your environment and with your data protection and with your compliance testing. Here's some logistics. I know we've had one question about when the product would be GA, when version 10 would go GA, and here it is, June of 2017. We're going to be announcing it from a marketing perspective tomorrow. You're going to see a lot of activity over the next few weeks, where blog posts and and industry articles and things like that. You'll see a lot of activity around it. One of the reasons we're doing it, of course, is we want our company to to be more attractive to the enterprise shops, and I think these are features that all of our users will be using, but they are features that will resonate with our new enterprise customers as well. But I think customers of all sizes will benefit from this. And then from an impact, for our customer impact, more productivity, more confidence, less management, more flexibility. We did have another question about will we still be able to do automated testing and backups? And the answer is yes. You can still do the automated testing and backups, but you'll be able to orchestrate and schedule that stuff through the user interface. So we make it easier for you to do automated testing and backups. And will the version 10 UI be on feature parity with the current reliable DR? And I believe that the answer on that one is yes as well. The current reliable DR, is still available. We're not eliminating that, but I think that it will be. But that is a question that I'll get a little bit more detail. Rob, do you know anything more about that?
We are planning for it to be on parity with the current reliable DR, but we are planning to still offer reliable DR as a standalone product as well.
Yeah, and then another question regarding the 2016, what part of Hyper-V 2016 is not supported at this point, and that was it was hardware version 8, being able to protect those at the hypervisor level. Hyper-V 2016 was not supported at this point, but it's in beta now, and it will be supported when the version 10 comes out. And as far as the features that will require the enterprise version, the reliable DR, the data copy management piece that we've talked about, that requires the enterprise plus version of the software license. Okay, and if you don't have it and you want to use this version, simply reach out to if your end user, reach out to your Unitrends partner, and they'll help you. They'll help you get the correct licensing for it. All right. Okay, so that brings us to the end of the session, and we've had some great questions so far. I want to open it up for more questions. I've got to follow us up. I know that you guys are all insiders, so most of you are probably following us out there on the different social media platforms, but if you're not, please do so, because like I said, there's going to be a lot of content released over the next few weeks around our version 10, and we're very excited about it, and we want to make sure that you see, you have the ability to see it as it comes out. So please go out and follow us on the social media if you're not so far. Are there any other questions that we can answer today for everybody? Okay. Here we got a few more that came in. Let me see here. Yeah, there was a question about the RxDA enhancements, and I know that there was some discussion around that earlier. I don't have an answer on that at this point. I think that the RxDA enhancements will probably be a follow-on release from version 10, very quick after the initial GA of version 10. But I think the RxDA enhancements will be a follow-up to that. And what we're going to be doing, of course, with that is improving performance, making it much faster for people who are doing cold backup copies to disk. Will there be any releases between now and 10? The only thing that could happen between now and 10, if there was something that came up, a defect, unexpected defect, or something that that we needed to fix, that could call in a sub-release. But there's no significant release that's planned between now and version 10. Is there any chance of expanding to larger database products, appliances beyond the 177 terabyte, there's always a chance that we're going to do that. Over the last 15 years, our first Unitrends appliance was 80 gigabytes in size, and now we're up to the almost 180 terabyte appliance. So the answer is yes. We're always looking at ways to bring out larger appliances. I don't have any timetable on that, and there's certainly nothing planned in the short term. But I would expect that year in, year out, we'll have larger appliances for you. All right. If there's no other questions, you can go on Insiders. You can keep an eye out for new forums that'll be going up this month all around the product. If you have questions, please put them up in the forums. You're always able to send questions to Mark Jordan directly, mark@unitrends.com. I'm always happy to answer those as we can. Reach out to a Unitrends partner. Reach out to a Unitrends Unitrends resource. If you have a support question, we have our support forums and we have support chat up on our website. So we appreciate all of you guys, everyone that's been an insider. We love doing these for you. We'll try to do them more often. And come next year, I look forward to meeting you all when we do our Insiders Roadshow. Oh, wait, we got one last question. Tape support improved in version 10. I don't believe we're going to be doing anything with tape in version 10. But, all right, thanks everybody. We're excited about version 10 as well. Have a great day, and reach out to me if you have any additional questions. Take care.